What if the news could unite us across our differences? And what's really going on in the halls of power, regardless of who's elected in office? Welcome to the Want to Know Weekly newsletter, where we save you time by summarizing important news articles buried by the mainstream, revealing both the darker forces shaping society and the best of human goodness, creativity, and collective power. Here are a few excerpts of this week's curated news collection. In the midst of election doom scrolling and negative news overload, the latest UFO revelations might be just what we need to reignite our sense of curiosity and wonder about our place in the vast universe. Yet officially, this topic has been shrouded in secrecy, even though it affects us all and has the potential to radically challenge our assumptions about reality. Canadian engineer and government scientist Wilbert B. Smith headed up the Canadian government's first major study on UFOs in the 50s and wrote in a now declassified memo that UFOs are the most highly classified subject in the US government. And it's widely known that most sitting presidents lack the necessary security clearance to receive a full briefing on the subject. Out in the world, when I'm having conversations with everyday people about this topic, most people are pretty receptive to the idea that we're not alone. And many scientists believe that discovering we're not alone is a question of when, not if. Recent discoveries of potentially habitable exoplanets and the sheer number of Earth-sized planets in our galaxy suggest that the universe is likely teeming with life, possibly advanced civilizations. Police chiefs of America's largest cities have now published the first guide about UFOs, which advise police officers on how to report such incidents. The document features first-person accounts from officers who've encountered unidentified flying objects. And now a high-level intelligence official and special agent just released his new book, Imminent, Inside the Pentagon's Hunt for UFOs, which documents his intriguing first-hand experiences as the head of a highly sensitive US government program investigating UFOs. After his work in counterintelligence, Luis Elizondo was recruited to join a highly classified program at the US Defense Intelligence Agency, tasked with researching aircraft that defied known physics and analyzing data from suspected sightings. Here are his main findings. Since at least World War II, unidentified craft that seem to defy our current knowledge of physics have routinely entered restricted US airspace, operating with complete impunity. For decades, the US government has been aware of the fact that we're not alone, and has been actively involved in recovering non-human vehicles and bodies, including those from the infamous Roswell, New Mexico incident. And lastly, Elizondo claims he's seen pieces of a UFO himself, and that he's even allegedly handled non-human implants found in humans. Why is he speaking out now? He says in his resignation letter, quote, "Bureaucratic challenges and inflexible mindsets continue to plague the department at all levels," end quote. So he's determined to help end the secrecy. Some people see Elizondo as a true hero, while others see him as a limited hangout, a tactic used in the intelligence community where a small, controlled amount of information is released to distract from or cover up more significant information. It's like going into a dark room and the government shines a light into one spot. You see the illuminated spot, but the rest remains hidden from view. Longtime UFO researchers and activists have every right to be skeptical. Most of the material Elizondo is disclosing has been widely known in the UFO community for decades. And when others in years past went public with this information, they were defamed, blacklisted, and worse. Yet today, a shift is happening. A real public conversation about UFOs and non-human intelligence is beginning in both the media, in the halls of power, and in our everyday conversations. We're seeing this topic bring elected officials on both sides of the political aisle together to push for disclosure. In fact, the UAP Disclosure Act requires all government agencies to review all their documents related to non-human intelligence and make them available to the National Archives by October 18, 2024, a few weeks from now. This includes any UFO information dating back to 1945, which would include the infamous Roswell incident. In the video description below, you can learn more about this unprecedented disclosure process with my interview with Danny Sheehan, the Harvard-trained lawyer spearheading these significant efforts. Imagine shaking up the status quo with the truth so big it could unite us all. Especially during these times of great change and uncertainty, we need narratives that connect us on a fundamental level beyond politics and problems. It's time to reawaken our curiosity about who we are in this larger universe. In fact, former NASA astronaut Ron Garan spent hundreds of days in space, joining the many astronauts who've experienced the overview effect out in space, a sense of profound interconnectedness and increased sensitivity to their place in the larger cosmos. Garan realized that humanity's economic priorities and the inability to see the bigger picture limit our potential to solve the planet's real problems. Garan reflected, quote, "I saw an iridescent biosphere teeming with life. I didn't see the economy, but since our human-made systems treat everything, including the very life support systems of our planet, as the wholly owned subsidiary of the global economy, it's obvious from the vantage point of space that we're living a lie," end quote. He added that while most people view Earth as a whole and consider the rest of space as others, that's not the case. He says, "There is no such thing as them. There's only us." When we can evolve beyond a two-dimensional us versus them mindset and embrace the true multi-dimensional reality of the universe that we live in, that's when we're going to no longer be floating in darkness. That's our true calling. Explore our other inspiring stories this week on the science of out-of-body experiences and how they create profound and lasting psychological transformations in people. And researchers at Cornell University have created robots controlled by living king oyster mushrooms, harnessing the fungus's electrical signals to enable movement and interaction. Check out the news article summaries below for all the stories we covered this week. And remember, we can't shift the chaos we're in until we name it. When we can recognize what's really pushing us in our personal lives and as a society, we already have a degree of freedom from it. Challenging information can paradoxically remind us of the greater good. It is the courage of the people and the love for the common good that bring these injustices to light, fueling open dialogue and constructive action. If you like these videos, please subscribe and share this widely. We're all in this together.